feminine embodiment is becoming such a buzzword, but what does it actually mean? And why does it matter so much? Especially for women who feel lost, disconnected, and exhausted by the so called modern life. Hi, my loves. In today's video, I'm going to unpack the truth behind feminine embodiment, what it is, what it's not, and how it can deeply transform the way you move through your everyday life. Whether you're new to this path or you're already on this path of feminine embodiment, this is your invitation to come home to yourself. And let me clear one thing. Feminine embodiment is not just a practice. It's not just about dancing in a flowy dress, doing a sensual movement, or releasing anger through this wild primal scream. While these are the beautiful tools on the path of feminine embodiment, but still they are just the glimpses of something much deeper. Let's begin with the word embodiment. Embodiment means to inhabit your body, to be in it fully. Now, you might say, of course, Isha, I'm in my body. Where else would I be? But energetically, many of us aren't. Now, why do so many of us are not fully inhabiting our body? There are several reasons, but one of the main reasons that I'd like to mention first and foremost is that we have been trained to stay in our heads, always planning, analyzing, and thinking about things. We live in a world that glorifies productivity, overworking, logic, performance, the traits of the masculine. And masculine energy is beautiful. We all need masculine in our life. But when it becomes the only mode through which we function, we end up living like machines and not women. Another reason, from a young age, we were trained to not pay attention to our emotions. We were taught to silence our emotions, ignore our inner voice, and push through no matter what. And we were praised for being good girls, to stay quiet, silent, stay helpful and useful for others. We disconnected from our rhythms. We stopped trusting our feelings. And we created a world where we started living neck up in this section only, while our bodies craved connection, softness, and rest. Another reason for not being embodied is there's trauma in all of us. Whether it's big or small, it doesn't matter. The presence of trauma in our bodies disconnects us further. And the trauma creates frozen tension inside the body, this pocket of tension where the energy gets stuck. So these are the parts of us that may seem fine from the outside, but these parts of us are frozen in time. And these parts of us are still holding on to fear, shame, and pain. Now, when we don't feel our feelings, they don't disappear, they go underground. And then this stagnation inside the body shows up as numbness, anxiety attacks, burnout, or in general, feeling lost in life. And then so many of us, so many women, blame themselves for feeling this way. But hear this, you are not broken, you are just disconnected. Now that we know a bit about this word embodiment and what it means, let me add the flavor of feminine into it. Consider feminine embodiment as the path to come home to yourself, to your full being, all parts of yourself, your physical, mental, emotional, energetic, and spiritual. It's about living life through your soul's essence and not just through your survival mechanisms. So when I say feminine embodiment, it is a way of life where you're returning to the feminine way of your being. One that's intuitive, cyclical, sensual, emotional, and deeply wise. So what does feminine embodiment look like practically? Now, this happens when you start to connect to your body neck down. You start traveling inside your body and going neck down. I'm not asking you to disconnect from your head. No, we will bring it together because we need the masculine. But first, we will come back to our being and we'll start exploring ourselves. What's happening in my body, neck down? So basically, you're returning to your body. You are connecting to your heart space, your womb space, your hips, your pelvis, your breath, your voice. And then you begin listening to your body's language, not in words, but in emotions, sensations, impulses, and stillness. And then you start meeting those frozen tensions inside, locked inside your body. And when you meet those frozen places, those stuck places inside the body, and you allow them to speak, move, and release, you begin to melt down the layers of conditioning stuck inside this beautiful, sacred vessel of yours. You start to let go of what isn't you, and you remember what you are beneath it all. Remember, the feminine isn't about performance, but it's about how deeply, as a woman, you feel. How rooted are you in your truth? And do you even recognize your truth? How free you are in your body? How honest you are with your emotions? To embody the feminine is to come home to yourself, fully, unapologetically, powerfully to yourself. Now, why feminine embodiment is so important right now, especially for women, as I said, who are feeling disconnected from themselves, who feel like they don't know who they are anymore. They are disconnected. They're deeply disconnected from their truth. The answer is simple. When we feel disconnected from our bodies, it's not just about just feeling a little off or just, out of balance. It's much deeper. We actually disconnect from our power. The power lies in owning the whole being. And when we are disconnected, we stop hearing our truths. We start questioning ourselves and we get stuck living the life neck up, always thinking our way through life instead of feeling our way through life, which is our natural way of being. And the world, it gives us numerous ways to numb that disconnection. Work harder, scroll more, stay silent, shop, stay busy, and just stay perfect doing this. That's how we've been living like. All these options are pointing out to one thing, anything to avoid what we're actually feeling underneath. But the truth remains this only, that unfelt emotions, they don't go anywhere. They don't disappear. They just bury deeper. And the unhealed parts within us, they start running the show. They quietly shape our patterns, our lives, our relationships, our choices, career choices, relationship choices, anything that you can think about. And that's why sometimes we feel that we can have everything that make us happy, but still we feel empty inside. We still feel like that something is missing in you. You still feel like you are not fully you. I just wanted to mention this, that I used to feel that I was not a people pleaser. I've always been somebody who has spoken her truth most of the times. And I've also faced rejection because of it, a lot of rejection in life. But when I began my feminine embodiment journey, the first truth that my body spoke was this. It said, stop being a people pleaser. And I was like, what? Me? A people pleaser? What are you saying, body? But then I saw it. I started seeing all the ways this pattern was subtly playing in my life. I saw the way I used to shrink myself, how I used to make others comfortable at the expense of my own expressions, and how I used to soften my truth, even though I spoke my truth, but I used to soften the truth just to please others or to not make others feel uncomfortable because of me. And also, in a way, I was just like, avoiding being too much. And that's the thing about embodiment. It reveals your truth to you. The moment you start your journey, you will see all the things that your mind can never reveal for you. It brings to light what we have been carrying for years. And that's what started happening to me. The more I listened to my body, the more I could see all the parts that I had hidden because of fear of something, because of shame and trauma. And I started reclaiming all those parts, all those hidden parts of me. And I started integrating them within my being. And I slowly started to embody the version of me that was more fuller, more truer, and freer. And this is what I know now. Your soul cannot land in a body that feels unsafe, that's shut down. It actually needs a body that's soft, open, and alive. And that's why the work of embodiment, this journey of embodiment, isn't a luxury or nice to have thing. It's the foundation. It's what brings you back home to yourself, to your truth, to your power, to the woman who you were always meant to be before the world told you who to be. I want to share the three ways you can bring more of embodiment, feminine embodiment in your life, and you can start your journey. Now, the first thing is a simple statement: come home to your body. First of all, make this thing very clear in your mind that your body is not a problem to fix. It is your sacred guide. Even if you've experienced some major illness and disconnection, Just know that body is always on your side. It wants to be on your side. It holds the wisdom beyond your mind. Now, to return to your body, you need to start using the tools that you already have within you: your awareness, your stillness, your breath, your sound, and the movement. So start with the practice of asking yourself these questions on an everyday basis. What sensations are present in my body right now? Do I feel any tightness or openness? And what is my body asking for? So start showing this presence and devotion and start to see your life change. This is the first thing that you need to start practicing to begin with your embodiment journey. Second point that I want to mention is feel instead perform. Make this thing very clear. Feel instead perform. Just know that you don't have to act feminine. You are feminine. Feminine embodiment is about feeling deeply, unapologetically, truthfully. All the emotions and feelings that you feel as a human: joy, grief, anger, pleasure, all of them are sacred. And your emotions are not your weakness, they are the messengers. So when you feel like crying, let yourself cry. And when you feel there is a rage inside of you, allow yourself to express yourself fully. You want to laugh, laugh out loudly. You want to mourn, mourn with pleasure. And when you want to rest, rest deeply. Allow yourself to rest deeply. Let your body become a temple for your emotions to move through. So instead of focusing on performance means like you trying to be a certain way and not allowing yourself to feel, start to feel. This is how the feminine awakens. When you stop performing, you start feeling. Your feminine will awaken more and more. Third point that I'd like to mention is live from inside out. So we have been conditioned very strongly to chase external validations, likes, praises, titles, approval. But feminine doesn't bloom in the spotlight as such. It blooms in the presence. So when you start to root your worth from within, when you start to tune into your intuition, your body's wisdom, your soul truth, you stop asking for permission to be who you are. You start to remember that you are the permission. And from that place, you begin to live your life from inside out, not based on what the world wants you to be, but what your soul came here to be and express. So in the end, I just want to say that feminine embodiment is not something that you achieve. It's something that you remember. It's not about doing more. It's about being more of who you truly are. This path is very different. It'll ask you to slow down when the world, the external world, tells you to speed up. It'll ask you to let go of everything that you were never meant to hold on to. But it'll also give you everything that you thought you had lost, which is your aliveness, your softness, your strength, your truth. So if you're still wondering what feminine embodiment really means, it means this: you fully expressed, you deeply connected, and you coming home to your sacred feminine essence. So with this, I'm going to end this episode. Thank you so much for being here, and let me know in the comments what resonated most with you. And if you're ready to take the next step, check out the resources and sessions listed in the description box. And I'll see you in the next one.